back to 65 and myself Srija. So today in this video you're going to learn about the continuation of ICD and CM coding guidelines for neoplasms. So the encounter for prophylactic organ removal. So what do you mean by prophylactic organ removal? Nothing but remove an organ to prevent the cancer, not because cancer is already present. So example like preventive mastectomy in a patient with BRCA mutation. So how do you code in this scenario? You have to use Z codes from factors influencing health status and contact with health services. So you should not code a malignancy if cancer is not diagnosed. So prophylactic is not the treatment of cancer. It is a prevention. So definitely you have to use Z codes but not the C codes. So coming to H guideline, admission or encounter for pain control or management. So when a patient is admitted only to manage the pain, so the pain becomes a principal diagnosis. So it is common in cancer patients with severe pain. So what is the coding rule over here? If admission is specifically for a pain control, so you have to code the pain diagnosis first. For example, G89.3 code series for neoplasm related pain. So then you have to code the underlying condition like cancer. If a patient admitted for severe cancer pain, the principal diagnosis is a neoplasm related pain. And then the secondary diagnosis will be the cancer code. So the reason for the admission, it decides the principal diagnosis. So always the first principal diagnosis always depends upon the reason for the encounter. On what basis they have visited the hospital. On what basis they have visited the doctor or treatment. Malignancy in two or more non-contagious sites. So a patient can have more than one malignant tumor. So tumors may be multiple primary cancers or primary plus metastatic diseases. So non-contagious sites means the tumors that are not directly spreading into each other. For example, like breast cancer plus colon cancer, they are likely two primaries. So lung cancer with brain lesion, likely metastases. So what is the coding rule over here? Each confirmed primary malignancy should be coded separately. So if it is unclear, you have to query the provider to confirm primary versus metastatic. So you should never assume metastasis based upon the documentation. First, you have to query the provider and first you have to confirm it. Later, you have to assign the codes for metastasis. So, J guideline is about disseminated malignant neoplasm unspecified. What does it mean? It means cancer has spread widely, but the primary site is unknown. So, secondary sites are not specified. So when to use C80.0 and when not to use C80.0. So C80.0 must be used when it is an advanced metastatic cancer. There is no primary site identified and there is no specific secondary sites documented. So when not to use C80.0? When the primary site is known, when secondary sites are documented. So what is the correct approach when sites are known? So you have to code first the primary cancer site, then each non-metastatic site separately. So C80.0, it is a last resort code, but it is not a shortcut. Next is K guideline, malignant neoplasm without specification of site. This code represents cancer when the primary site is known, not known or documented. That is, it is equivalent to saying cancer unspecified site. Code C80.1 for malignant neoplasm unspecified. So when to use C80.1? When there is no determination can be made regarding the primary site, when documentation is truly unclear or incomplete, mostly used in outpatient or diagnostic settings. So when not to use C80.1? So when the primary site is documented, when metastatic sites are known, should rarely be used for inpatient coding. So coders should always query the provider before assigning C80.1 code. So it is a last resort code but not a default choice. So next is what sequencing of neoplasm codes. So what is the sequencing? How would you decide which diagnosis should be first, which should be second? Sequencing means deciding which diagnosis is coded first, whether it is a principal or first listed diagnosis. So the first guideline under sequencing is encounter for treatment of primary malignancy. If a patient is seen to treat the primary cancer, then primary malignancy is the principal or first listed diagnosis. Any metastatic sites are coded after the primary site. For example, patient admitted for chemotherapy for the breast cancer with lung metastasis. So what is the first listed cancer over here? It's a breast cancer. Breast cancer is the primary site and additional listed diagnosis is lung metastasis. So what is the main treatment focus here is the primary cancer first. And the second guideline is encounter for treatment of secondary malignancy. If a patient has primary cancer with metastasis, but treatment is directed only to the metastatic site, then how would you sequence it? First, secondary site is the principal diagnosis, then primary cancer as a secondary diagnosis. So, example, patient with colon cancer admitted for radiation to brain metastasis. So what will be the first listed diagnosis here? Brain metastasis, because it is a secondary metastasis or secondary malignancy. And the first listed and the first cancer is colon cancer, which is assigned as a secondary diagnosis. So what are the key points here? Treating metastasis only and metastatic site comes first. So next guideline is malignancy neoplasm in a pregnant patient. So when a pregnant patient has a cancer, so pregnancy complication code, that is O codes, is always sequenced first. Why? Because chapter 15 pregnancy codes has priority over sequencing all over the ICD code chapters. So first pregnancy complication code is sequenced first, then cancer code is sequenced second. For example, pregnant patient with cervical cancer. So first listed is O code, that is neoplasm complicating pregnancy, and secondary code is cervical cancer code. So pregnancy is considered a high risk condition and isolated CM, it always gives priority to the pregnancy related complications. So this is why pregnancy codes will always be coded as a first listed diagnosis. So next guideline is encounter for complication associated with a neoplasm. Sometimes patients are not treated for cancer directly, but for complications caused by the cancer. So what will be the common complications of the cancer? Dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, infection, malnutrition, obstruction. So if a treatment is only for the complication, you have to code the complication first. Then you have to code the malignancy. Example like cancer patient admitted for severe dehydration due to vomiting. Here the first listed is dehydration. Then a secondary diagnosis is the malignancy code. So treating the problem but not the cancer. So you have to always code the problem first. And here there is only one exception is anemia. Special rule for anemia is anemia behaves differently from all other complications due to cancer. When anemia is associated with the malignancy, if the admission is only for the anemia management, then you have to code malignancy first, followed by D63.0, that is anemia in the neoplastic diseases. So always anemia breaks the rule when compared to the other complications associated with the neoplasm. So next guideline is complication from surgical procedure for treatment of a neoplasm. So complications that occur after surgery done to treat a cancer. Examples like post-operative infection, hemorrhage, wound dehiscence or seroma. So when encounter is only for the surgical complication, you have to code a complication first. So then code for neoplasm Then code for status or post-operative codes if applicable. There is an example when a patient returns with post-mastectomy wound infection. So what is the first listed over here? The post-operative infection is the first listed diagnosis, and secondary diagnosis is the breast cancer or history of the cancer, current as applicable. So surgery complication is the first listed always in all scenarios. So next guideline is pathologic fracture due to a neoplasm. So what is a pathologic fracture? It occurs when a bone breaks due to weakening by disease, such as a cancer. So in cancer patients, this is often due to bone metastasis. So what is the scenario A in this case? The treatment focus is the fracture. So if the encounter is mainly to treat the fracture itself, so you have to sequence M84.5 code, which is a pathological fracture in neoplastic disease first. So then you have to follow with the neoplasm code. Example, a patient with metastatic prostate cancer admitted for surgical fixation of a femur fracture. So how do you code in this scenario? You have to first list the code M84.552, which is for pathologic fracture due to neoplasm and left femur. And secondary code is prostate cancer with bone metastasis. So fixing the bone is the first coded one. And there is another scenario where the treatment focus is for neoplasm. So if a treatment is mainly for the cancer and the fracture is secondary, so you have to sequence the neoplasm first, then followed by the fracture codes. This is how you code a pathological fracture due to a neoplasm. So next M guideline is about current malignancy versus personal history of malignancy. So this guideline helps to decide whether to code active cancer or history of cancer. So when cancer is considered current or active, when? So you have to use active malignancy C codes whenever a cancer has been diagnosed and treatment is ongoing, such as surgery, radiation therapy or chemotherapy. Even if the primary tumor was excised, but the treatment continues. So you have to consider the cancer is active. For example, patient had a colon tumor removed, but he is receiving chemotherapy. So you have to code the current colon cancer, but not the history. And when cancer is considered as a history one, when a cancer is completely excised, when there is no further treatment plan, when there is no evidence of disease. So in these cases only, you have to consider cancer as an history. For example, patient had a breast cancer 5 years ago. There is no reoccurrence. So you have to use Z85.3 code for personal history of the breast cancer. No treatment, no disease. Then it becomes a history code. So what are the important rules for using Z85 codes? So Z85.0 to Z85.85. So these codes are used only for the former site of a primary malignancy. So you should not use them for the secondary or metastatic sites. Example, patient had a colon cancer completely removed. There is no recurrence. So in this case, you have to use Z85.038. That is a personal history of malignant neoplasm of the large intestine, as a colon is a part of large intestine. And second is Z85.89, personal history of malignant neoplasm other sites. So Z85.89 can be used for former site of a primary malignancy or former site of a secondary malignancy. Example like patient had a metastatic liver cancer that is now resolved. So in this case, you have to use Z85.89 code. So Z85.89 is always more flexible than Z85.0 to Z85.85 codes. So do not use history codes when a chemotherapy or radiation is still ongoing. Follow-up visit is for active cancer care or whenever there is a documented residual or recurrent disease. So next, guideline coming to leukemia, multiple myeloma, and malignant plasma cell neoplasms in remission versus personal history. So this is about remission versus personal history. So understanding about the remission codes. So leukemia and multiple myeloma, that is C90 category codes. So these categories include specific codes including indicating remission status, in remission, not having achieved remission, or in relapse. So remission is not the history. So even if in remission, leukemia or myeloma is considered as a current disease but not the history. So when to use personal history codes for blood cancers. So you have to use history codes only when disease is fully eradicated, no ongoing treatment, provided documents history of leukemia or myeloma. So what are the history codes? Z85.6 for personal history of leukemia and Z85.79, that is personal history of other malignant neoplasms of lymphoid, hematopoietic and related issues. So here is an example, leukemia in remission. So patient with leukemia in remission is still under monitoring. So how do you code? You have to use leukemia code with remission status. So you should not use Z85.6 code. Another example is past leukemia and no disease. So patient had leukemia years ago, but there is no current disease. So in this case, you have to assign Z85.6 code. So provider query for leukemia remission status. So if a documentation does not clearly state whether the leukemia is in remission, not in remission or relapse, so the coder must query the provider. So you should never assume the remission status. Leukemia codes are always the status dependent. So next guideline, O guideline, is about aftercare following surgery for neoplasm. So what is aftercare? Care provided after surgery to promote the healing. It is not the treatment of the active cancer. So you have to use Z codes for aftercare. You should not code the malignancy unless there is an active disease. For example, patient seen for post-operative wound care after a tumor excision. So what will be the first listed code? Aftercare Z code. So cancer code only if it is still active. So next is follow-up care for completed treatment of a malignancy. So what is follow-up care? You have to visit to check for the recurrence, monitor recovery, and treatment is completed. So what is the coding rule over here? Z08 must be used for follow-up after the completed treatment for malignancy. So if there is no current cancer, so you should always code for Z85, which is for personal history codes. So next guideline is prophylactic organ removal for prevention of malignancy. So removal of an organ to prevent the cancer, not to treat it. So you have to use Z codes for prophylactic removal. You should not assign a cancer code. For example, preventive bilateral mastectomy due to a genetic risk. So you have to use code Z40 for prophylactic surgery code. So prophylactic is always a prevention. So next guideline is about malignant neoplasm associated with the transplanted organ. So what is the important concept over here? Cancer occurring in a transplanted organ is considered as a transplant complication. So what is the correct coding sequence of this case? So first listed diagnosis is the complication of transplanted organ and tissue from the category T86. And the second diagnosis is the malignant neoplasm associated with the transplanted organ, that is C80.2 categories. So additional codes will be a code for the specific type of malignancy. Like if there is a patient develops kidney transplant patient develops renal carcinoma. So T86.1 is assigned for the transplant complication as a first listed diagnosis. Next, C80.2 is assigned for malignancy associated with the transplant for secondary diagnosis, and then at last C64 for renal cancer, which is assigned as an additional diagnosis. So transplant related cancers are not coded like the regular cancers. This is how you have to assign the codes for neoplasm when it is associated with the transplanted organ. So next is breast implant associated anaplastic large cell lymphoma. So here there is a BIA-ALCL. So what is a BIA-ALCL? So this is a rare type of T cell lymphoma, that is breast implant associated anaplastic large cell lymphoma. It is a rare type. So it develops around the breast implants, usually in the capsule or fluid surrounding the implant, but it is not a breast cancer. So what is the correct ICD-10 CM coding in this case? So active disease C84.7A, you have to assign this code, and then disease in remission C84.7B. So C84.7A, it is used for active BIA-ALCL, and C84.7A, it is used for whenever provider documents remission. So you should not assign a complication code from chapter 19, that is T codes, even though an implant is involved. Why? Because BIA-ALCL, it is considered as a distinct malignancy, but not a mechanical or inflammatory implant complication. So implant present is not implant complication. You have to code the lymphoma only. And then T guideline is secondary malignant neoplasm of lymphoid tissue. So lymphomas, they do not follow a same metastasis coding rules as a solid tumors. So whenever a lymphoid malignancy spreads beyond the lymph nodes, so do not code secondary malignancy of the affected organ, that is C78 to C79 codes. Instead, you have to assign a code from C81 to C85 with a final character G. So what does G indicates? Extranodal and solid organ involvement. So why this rule exists? Because lymphomas, these are the systemic diseases. These are spread to organs, is considered a part of same disease process but not the true metastasis. So what is the example? A diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, it spreads to lung, brain and left adrenal gland. So then you have to assign the code C83.398, which is a diffuse large B-cell lymphoma of other extranodal and solid organ sites. So do not code lung cancer, secondary codes. Do not code brain metastasis codes in this scenario. You have to always assign the codes for diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. So this is for today's session. I hope this session has helped you. So in the next session, you will be learning about the ICD-10 chapter 17 and 18 coding guidelines. Thank you.